Man, Luke, you ready to see this undescript movie?
I'm so ready to see this undescript movie, Jacob.
With that one guy?
Yeah, that one guy, and he's like the main character,
Yeah,
and
and he's played by that one guy.
the actor that's popular.
Yeah, like that one guy who was in that one movie, and then like he was in another movie, and then like he had like a drug thing.
And now he's in this movie.
And then he's in this movie. This is like his comeback movie.
Yeah, this is his comeback movie. And there's the bad guy.
Who is played by a much more like prestigious guy. He's never had like any issues for some reason.
Yeah, and
like,
he's slightly older. He's probably like in his 50s or 60s, but everybody thinks he's a phenomenal actor.
Yeah, like I don't think I've ever like heard anything bad about this guy. And it turns out like 20 years later, then you hear something bad about him.
Yeah, like he killed his wife and a waiter.
Yeah.
R.I.P. OJ.
Anyways, guys.
We're jumping into this one. Yeah, let's see if we can go more than a minute without an OJ joke. Turns out we can't. So
Respect to OJ. No.
R.I.P. Hey, at least he can rest easy knowing his wife's killer is dead.
Yeah.
So
imagine if someone was like had like a coma and then like woke up like 20 years later. He's like, man, I really love OJ and all his movies. And then like maybe someone has to tell me like,
he's not in that many movies. He's just
a
famous football player.
I know he was on SNL once.
That's true.
And then they make fun of OJ.
He hosted SNL at least once.
Yeah. And then they made fun of him. Like I think it was like they went crap.
Anyway, let's
talk into our subject. We're gonna be talking about We're gonna be talking about how modern movies kind of are not as good as the old ones. Like when I was like a kid, you know, you had like Kung Fu Panda, How to Train Your Dragon, Shrek, which was good for the laughs. Sometimes had a good story. Megamind.
Yeah.
And then you had all the Marvel movies, the Star Wars movies. Actually, never mind. Cancel out the Star Wars movies. Those really were the...
But, no, to go back to what Jacob's saying, like, I just want to make this first point. Okay, all movies now, for the most part, are cash grabs. Like crazy cash
like
grabs.
Average.
Guess what? Okay, out of that list that Jacob said, okay, Kung Fu Panda. The new one, clearly a cash grab. Not a great plot, not very high effort. Out of that, Megamind, you know that straight to Netflix movie, huge cash grab.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then what was, I don't know that there's a How to Train the Dragon cash grab, but like, still, it's like these movies, it's way more about the money for them. Like you can just start tarnishing the reputation of a perfectly good movie franchise if you can get a little cash out of it.
The only good movies that are coming out now are just already stuff like video games.
Yeah.
Like, the only good movies and stuff like me I've seen is like the Fallout TV show, which technically had its own original plot.
Yeah.
Which isn't a good choice. The other good one that was like really good that everybody's talking about is like Last of Us, which is just an entire rip of the show. I mean the video game.
Yeah.
And the Mario movie, which had an original plot, and it was a good movie. Like it wasn't like you could tell it was like a kid movie, but like.
For kids' movies, it's pretty good. A lot of the other kids' movies recently have been kind of eh. I did like Wonka, but Wonka has been in production since like 2017 or something.
Yeah.
So like you really can't say that's a recent movie.
Dune
is good, but
they don't.
But here's the thing: is Dune was written in like the 70s.
Yeah.
So it's like, sure, Timothée Chalamet does a good job acting in the movie, but it's like when the writing is the number one problem with most movies now, it's kind of obvious that if the book the movie is based on was written in the 70s, it's going to be better writing than now.
Did you see that one? This is completely off topic. Did you see that one picture from like the Fallout like after show party where Elon Musk showed up and you just see like everybody's faces?
No.
Okay, I'll show you that picture afterwards. But if you guys have seen it, it's like a picture of like all these people like just looking at Elon Musk and he's like waving his hands around and everybody's just like, is he doing here?
Yeah.
Who let this guy in?
Well, I mean, he could buy them.
Yeah, he bought in.
Yeah, but no. So I think the number one problem with movies right now is writing. And to go back to that point about how like stuff that was written a while ago, I saw that new movie The Fall Guy yesterday with Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. Actually, a pretty good movie. So I'm like 90% of the way through, and I'm like the only person in the theater. So I'm obviously on my phone while I'm watching the movie because I'm the only person in the theater. And so I'm texting my mom, and my mom goes, "Oh, The Fall Guy? Yeah, that used to be a TV show in the 70s." And I go, oh, that's why the movie's sort of good. And so yeah,
Wait,
like it was it was actually early 80s, but you know, like 81 to 84 or whatever. And
Is it the same plot?
no, it's literally an exact ripped plot. Like,
Man.
I mean, a slightly modified to fit, you know, movie. Like, I didn't go too much in the plot, but like the plot is overall, hey, there's a guy who's a stuntman, and
he turns out he has to go fight bad guys.
exactly, that's literally the plot.
Why is that like every movie now? They like you gotta go fight a bad guy. Like you can't have like a movie where it's just like a political drama, which
Yeah.
sounds like Star Wars Episode 1, but that
Yeah.
was a good movie.
That's true. I saw that in theaters yesterday as well. Guys, stop judging me for seeing two movies on the same day. But I saw that again yesterday, and it really is just, oh boy, we gotta elect this guy and not this guy.
Oh man, and it's a good movie. But the thing is, it's like it's handled well.
Yeah.
And the problem is that we're coming from is that we had I feel like we almost hit like the peak.
Yeah.
And then we had a quick drop off.
I think like
We hit Endgame.
yeah, I think 2016, 2017, that
Was it
18 is Endgame. Yeah,
No,
2016 is Infinity
19
War.
was Endgame, 18 was Infinity War, and like it was like spiking, and then we hit Endgame, and then we started going down and down.
Yeah,
and
it's
then we
like-
had to cross the Spider-Verse, and then we went down, and then we went like
Yeah, but I mean, Across the Spider-Verse, they obviously wrote the plot for that one when they were writing the previous
then,
one, so we can kind of lump
we
that in.
know all of them are gonna be the same. Like, and I love those movies, and especially like their animation, and like the problem is that like most good stuff now is coming from smaller studios, which really reflects what the gaming market has almost become. I know it's like completely off topic, but basically,
That's true.
most games that are like considered good
The first quadruple A game.
are like made by like the indie studios.
Yeah.
Like especially if you've heard like all that's going on at Xbox, like one of their games that got the most award, their studio got shut down
Mhm.
by Xbox. It's called Hi-Fi Rush. I've never played it, but it looks super cool. The animation's super cool. But like the problem is that all these studios are getting so much money that they don't really care anymore. So they're just throwing money and expecting people to buy it.
Exactly. And I mean, that's exactly reflected in the movie industry, because it's like the direct to consumer, like it's shifted so much, because like even 10 years ago it was, we need the movie to do well not only in the box office but on re-release. You know, it used to be, hey, the movie, you know, let's pick any movie. Let's pick Captain America: Civil War, right?
Yeah.
A pretty good movie. I mean, I'd say probably at least 7.5, 8 out of 10. But the problem is, right? Like when the movie studios released that, it had to do well in the box office, and it had to sell on Blu-ray and DVD. You know what I'm saying? Now it's different.
They can just
Now
go straight to streaming.
It sells in the box office. If it sells well, they'll hype it up. They'll keep it in theaters a little longer. Then it'll go to streaming, and it'll be really like pushed big when it goes to streaming. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they'll advertise it. If the movie does bad, it'll still make money in the box office. And then they just sell it to the streaming platform, or they do whatever their deal is. I don't remember exactly how all movies get structured for that. But you know what I'm saying? They structure a deal to put it on a streaming service, and they get paid for that. And it's like, and here's the thing is, there will still be people who go, oh, I haven't seen that yet, let me see it, and they still watch on the streaming service, and they're going to make money off of it.
And the problem is that if they know they're going to make a bad movie, they'll just send it straight to streaming. Because they know
Exactly. And even worse, if it's from an indie studio, they might send it straight to streaming, because
no one sees it.
then nobody sees it. Like, I saw a pretty good movie the other day, historical drama, and I think it was pretty recent. I think the one that came out recently, because there were a couple that I saw recently, but I think it was this one. Somebody can quote me if I'm wrong. Maybe it came out a little while ago, but definitely in the last, you know, like 3 or 4 years. But I think it was like pretty recent, like maybe last year. It was about one of the civil rights trials, and what's the Supreme Court justice's name? First black Supreme Court justice.
Oh.
It'll come to mind in a second.
Luke's just gonna scream it out in
Yeah.
the conversation.
No, but anyway, so it was really interesting, and it was about a case that he was working on, and it was very well done. But it was like you could tell it was a lot of actors I hadn't seen in too many things. I think one of the lead roles was Chadwick Boseman, who played Black Panther. So it would have had to been in the like 3 or 4 years ago, because I think he passed away in like 2020, 2021.
Yeah.
So it would have been right around that time. But yeah, so I think he was in that. I might be confusing it with another, because I watched quite a few movies that were in like the same vein.
I think also the issue is that, especially in some, like, we'll say Marvel, because Star Wars has its own issues. But the problem with Marvel right now is that they lost like all the actors that were like known.
Yep.
Marvel movies, like they lost Downey, they lost Evans. I almost call him Steve Rogers.
Evans. They don't have Hemsworth either.
Hemsworth. They've lost who plays Banner?
Oh, I know who you mean.
I think he's gone.
Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo. They lost Ruffalo. They've lost most of their big actors, and they really aren't doing that much afterwards, because they're kind of like not in their ends road, but like
if you made a bunch of money off of Marvel movies, why would you do anything else?
Yeah.
So, but no, that's what it like, because it used to be, oh, the Marvel movie's in the theater, we gotta see it. There has not been a Marvel movie since the last Marvel movie.
The last one I saw was Multiverse of Madness.
Yes, I agree. I think that is the last one I saw in theaters.
And was it a good movie? I don't really know what was going on.
I did not think it was a very good movie. I thought
the only thing I was interested in was when John Krasinski was on screen.
Yeah, I thought that
it was really violent.
I thought it was a very weird movie. It was a very dark movie. It was very, clearly spiritually dark. And additionally, it's like the plot was not complex. Also, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, most of it was based on a comic book that was written like 5 years earlier. Yeah. So, exactly. So it's like, let's just take some writing that was pretty good and then turn it into something else.
Yeah,
so,
and now, like, most movies that come out now are either made to continue a different story,
mm-hmm.
or to just exist. Which was the difference in the 2010s, was that they did that, but what they did is it was like a singular story. So you didn't have to see every episode. You didn't have to see every episode of you didn't have to see Guardians to get what's going on in Infinity War. You didn't have to see all of it. All you had to see was maybe the Avengers movies,
mm-hmm.
maybe like a few other spin-off movies.
Yeah.
Maybe even like you could just watch the Avengers movies and kind of know what was going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I think it's like one of those where I don't like, it's very clear that they took a wrong turn, Marvel, and I don't think
they can get back.
I wasn't even going to say that. I don't even think like they tried to prevent themselves from just becoming like notoriously not very good.
Yeah, I think the only thing they can now do is they just have to like reset.
Yeah, they should just start
clean new
like
actors.
Just pretend new multiverse or whatever, and just straight up reset, do some fun stories.
All you would have to do is maybe get all of the actors back for one movie and then just reset the timeline. Be like everybody gets back for one movie.
Well,
you reset the timeline and then you just get new actors.
You don't even have to do that. You could get them not even like
you could do it in the comics.
Not even that. But I was gonna say like not even on a full movie deal. You could just have like. Yeah, you could literally have it like that. You could have a couple of. You could just get like one or two of the actors like Downey or Evans or something, and have like a slight teaser at the end of a different movie. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
As like a post-credit scene on one of these garbage movies, and then just have like some sort of plot point to explain like why the like it resets, and then you could just basically do. You could do some Iron Man movies with a new actor. You could do some Captain America, because those sell so much better than the new ones, because everybody wants to see Iron Man. Not everybody wants to see.
Now I would wait maybe like 2 years to release a new movie, because it's gonna take a little bit for it to be like we have.
Yeah. But no, seriously, I think like. Because I think all kids are, or even, adults too, but I think, like, kids that are watching movies are going to way rather see Iron Man or Captain America because they kind of represent, like
I would do
positive characters.
3 characters that you're going to know are hits. You're gonna have Spider-Man.
Mhm.
You're gonna have Iron Man and Captain America. It's an easy 3.
Yeah.
And I bet I'm not gonna say this, but I bet that Sony will not under Disney's wing for the next. Like I bet Disney's either gonna buy Spider-Man or buy Sony.
Yeah, I think it makes sense if they just outright buy out Sony's licenses to Spider-Man. I don't remember exactly how that deal was structured because it's weird.
Because I think it's because there's no way they would buy Sony because then you have to deal with like a video game company and that's not really.
Well, yeah, no, I think that would be getting a little heavy on the who owns how many things now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, call me Teddy Roosevelt with the trust busting, but
like,
that would be a little heavy.
I feel like what they would probably do is like, either what will happen is Disney tries to buy Sony and then like the U.S. government's like, whoa.
Well, I don't think it would even be that. I think it would be possible for them to buy Sony. I just think it'd be too much.
Maybe it would split the company up.
Yeah, they would have. I think they would.
They would just buy like the movie part of Sony.
Yeah, well, that's what they do with Fox, because they bought 20th Century Fox, but they only bought like
not the news part.
Not the news part, and not the not part of its division, but they only bought like the
movie part.
The movie part and like only certain parts of the movie part too, because
they bought X-Men.
Yeah. Well, they bought it outright. I just don't remember how they structured it, but it was an interesting buyout.
I think that will probably happen, and then they'll probably just reset it. But I bet by like when we're like 30, we'll probably just have a new cinematic universe.
Yeah.
I bet that's what they'll do, and then like Star Wars, I don't know.
Oh, please just reset it. Please go. It was all a bad dream, and reset it.
I think either I don't know.
Like if they could just retcon the
problem is
the sequels.
There are people who like the sequels, which is the
no who
I know people, but like they're like a very few minority that actually like them, but they're young kids. That's what I'm saying. They're young kids.
Here's my thing is I think they could totally retcon them. I think it'd be very easy to retcon them.
It was all a dream, a very bad dream.
And I think it would be very easy to bring in some much better characters. And there's already just use like how all movies now use some writing that already exists, pull from like the novels and stuff.
I don't know, but like they're already gonna do that. They're already planning on episode 10 where it's gonna be like Rey doing something crap. But like also like you need a news. Like I think you could keep all this TV show stuff. You can keep that stuff.
Well, and here's the thing is, so some of the TV shows
are good.
Well, some of the TV shows would have a problem if you retconned a bunch of stuff, but not all of them.
No,
because
I think most of them wouldn't have an
issue. Because most of like the Mandalorian style shows are set in a time period where they fit. You know what I'm saying? Because they're set like
a few years after the Civil War.
Yeah, well, yeah, a few years after like they're set when the plot is supposed to be that the good guys are in charge right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Good guys are in charge.
And so you could totally
just cut
the sequels and just do some movies that are set in that same timeline.
You could you could just do
and you could do that. You could cameo in like a 45-year-old Luke Skywalker. You know what I'm saying? Like they already did it in one of the episodes of The Mandalorian. You know, like
you could.
Well, actually more than one.
And also,
episode. But
Dave Filoni's already writing that one Thrawn movie, and it's based off Timothy Zahn's books. Shout out to that guy. Love your books. Thank you for making those. You can just take stuff from Legends and just make it into. It's that hard.
Yeah.
There's so much material.
But no, I seriously think that like your best option is start doing some actual movies, and they will sell well because Star Wars sells well. There has not been a Star Wars there's not been a Star Wars movie in theaters in 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And so if they put an actually good movie in theaters, that would do so much better than anything. But they have to not do these Rey movies.
You literally could just make a movie about some rebels, and it could have nothing to do with a plot, and just have like a little tiny story.
Yeah, you could do one of these Star Wars story type movies.
Where it's just like they're just a random group of friends.
Yeah.
Traveling the galaxy together, dude.
See, because I will say that was an advantage during, like, I know they were like while they were releasing a bunch of new ones, they like obviously the new ones are not considered good, but like the ones they came out with in between, like Solo, A Star Wars Story, and Rogue One,
Rogue One was just
are
like,
actually pretty decent movies.
because
like,
they're just a bunch of guys.
yeah, they're like Rogue One. I think is that one they would obviously don't have to retcon out because it goes with a plot, and same with Solo. Like you could keep those in the canon, but if you just retcon out the
sequel
sequel
I
trilogy,
think that's all you have to do.
like because most of the TV shows don't rely on it. Like I mean maybe a little bit of the lore, but like for the most part you could totally do that and leave most of everything the way it is, and I think that would be their best bet.
One issue I think they need to fix is that how like most of the movies at some point retcon what a narfing says.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what you basically just need to do is like you need whenever you make something, especially a show, and it's a different director each time, you have to at least have like some sort of board that's like, okay, this will all make like,
Yeah.
if you need to change stuff, then that's like their job.
I think the thing that should happen in the next movie is don't just make the bad guys the same as the bad guys in the last
No,
movies.
that's why I say use Thrawn.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But like, set it in like the what is it the
Like 20 ABY.
set it like
nerd terms, guys.
yeah. So set it like 15 years after the Return of the Jedi, and
Have new characters.
and have pretty much all new characters, but you could do it well and you could come up with new bad guys that actually make sense and actually aren't just we're going to do the Empire again.
You could
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like Thrawn is the reason I think Thrawn would be the best choice is like you already have him set up in Ahsoka. He's somewhere in the galaxy.
Mhm.
We know that he is very smart, so you could have like a villain who's like achieving wins. He's not destroying the Republic,
Yeah.
but he's also making a pretty good dent.
Yeah.
And then you can just have like them be like Solo's children,
Yeah.
where like they could have force powers, and maybe they're trained by Luke, but maybe they're not.
Yeah,
Maybe
and
they'll-
I think too additionally, like not to interrupt, but like I think a great opportunity there would be you could have other side villains and you can do side like TV shows about the side villains, you know what I'm saying? So like
You could have different shows that take, like you could have like be like a 10-year period, and you could have different shows taking place in like it could be like, or it could be following like a Republic force that's like
Mhm.
just doing stuff in like the Outer Rim.
yeah, and I think an advantage there too with that concept is you could totally like introduce some bad guys that are like reminiscent of older movies. So like you could just do, or even like take like villains or villain types from like the Clone Wars or from Rebels or one of those, and you could totally use those again. You know what I'm saying? So not like a big bad guy, but like for one of the there's all sorts of episodes where they're not just fighting the battle droids, but there's some sort of like political drama, or there's some sort of something's going wrong on this planet. Like you could do much more like the characters are fighting against an individual problem as opposed to just fighting against this is the big bad guy for
Yeah,
this
you could like
series of movies.
you could literally make it like the New Republic like police, not like a police force, whatever they call it. Like they're called like something, I can't remember. There's like a name for them, but like do it like that, and like it could be like animated, it could be anything. They just need to be like, and like you could have like parts where like they recognize that there's something else going on, right then. But like you could also be like, they're just guys trying to survive.
Mhm.
You could literally have a story about like scrappers, and I would watch it. I would literally watch a show where it's like three guys. It could be like a sitcom style.
That would actually be really fun.
That'd be really cool, like the sitcom style like Star Wars show.
I don't know that would fit the current like genre enough, because all the Star Wars movies now are very like grungy looking. You know what I'm saying?
I think, like I guess yeah, I think like you could, but like that like there's no reason like, because like because I think that's like the point of Star Wars though, is like it is like the entire point why the originals are super different than the prequels is because George was like, I'm not gonna make the same movies.
Yeah.
That was the entire point, and that's what the sequels did wrong, is that they were the same movies.
Yeah, they literally just went, let's make
4, 5, and 6.
Let's make 4, 5, and 6 again, with slightly different tweaks, but basically the same overall plot. It's like let's do let's take it and let's tweak it, but not in a good way. Let's tweak it so that it's just slightly worse. So.
And I think, and this goes for the entire thing, is if we keep on holding on to what nostalgia is, there will become an issue where we just make the same movies.
Yeah.
Like, we can't just hold on to, like, that's a character from the past. You need to make new characters, new stories, like, I would totally take we'll say Freeway Star Wars show, where it is just random people who might be part of the Republic or they're part of the other side. I would totally take a show where it's like the other people from the other side and they're realizing that they're bad people.
Mm-hmm.
They realize that they're bad people, so they turn. That's actually just Battlefront 2.
Yeah. But no, I seriously think that if they put more effort into doing like individual stories as opposed to these like it has to fit into the overall narrative, then it'll work a lot better.
I think that's why, like, okay, I would say I think sometimes the stories in Star Wars video games are becoming better than the actual shows. Like, I will say when I played Jedi Survivor, it had more impact on me than any episode of The Mandalorian. Because it was like, it was a show. It was a game where you're playing a game and you're getting to know characters. And then, like, sure, there was a cameo from Darth Vader at some point, which is, spoiler, I won't say what happens, but Darth Vader's in it at some point. And, like, I was like, okay, he just showed up and he was gone. It was literally like a quick moment.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, you can use the character. It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And, like, it added to the story.
That would work a lot better for the stuff that they're doing as opposed to just making it so constantly focused on
one story.
On having an overarching narrative constantly.
I think that's why 2 shows worked, which was, like, Andor and Obi-Wan. Maybe Obi-Wan's, like, a little bit more like, but, like, Andor, it's just, like, this guy.
Yeah.
Who, like, he's kind of connected, like, he kind of helps in, like, Rogue One. But he's, like, really just, like, some guy who, like, did something bad.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so he had to live with the consequences. And is he kind of, like, yeah, sure, he's kind of a main character, but he's also just, like, some random guy who just had, like, and there's, like, one plot point, like, they're trying to do something else, which I'm trying to be really, really,
general
because it's really, like, it's a good show, so I think you should watch it. Where Mandalorian's, like, they go to a planet to save Grogu. Grogu's somehow some super powerful being that everyone needs control over.
The classic video. Oh no, Baby Yoda drank all the milk. Yeah.
That's why I think that these shows where it's like we're trying to protect something is like actually that's like two different. It's 3 different Star Wars shows.
Mm-hmm.
That is Mandalorian,
Bad Batch,
kind of Ahsoka, but also no. But
yeah,
also,
it's there's so many.
Oh no. Omega got captured again. What are we gonna do?
See, that one at least makes a little more sense because it's animated and it's kind of like more in a fun style.
Yeah, and it's also
it fits more of that Clone Wars style.
Yeah.
Plot.
And I think they handled it really well in season 2.
Yeah.
I haven't seen season 3 yet.
I haven't seen season 3 either.
But I think it's good. Like everybody's saying it's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like season 2, I was like, whoa. Oh my God, I got captured again. But it's different this time.
Yeah.
I won't say why it's super different, but you're like, okay, it's just gonna be another episode where she gets captured and they're gonna get her back.
Yep. Because that's always such a fun.
I think that's one thing they did really good in season 2, where like it just continually like you're like, okay, it's just gonna be the same thing. And then I feel like that might have been what they were playing into. They're like, oh, you're just gonna think she gets captured again.
Yeah. But no, so going back to like kind of the overall plot, because we have been talking a lot about Star Wars, just back to kind of general movies, there just aren't a lot of movies coming out right now that are unique.
There's not a lot of movies coming out.
That's true. There's not a lot of big name movies, and even some of the lesser known movies that are coming out are just, a lot of them are from big studios wanting a cash grab.
Okay. I can remember like 3 movies from last year. It was like Oppenheimer, Across the Spider-Verse. Was that last year? Maybe.
No, I think that was 2 years ago.
Maybe, I don't know.
Anyway.
Like Oppenheimer, Across the Spider-Verse, and Dune.
Yeah.
And Dune Part 2. That's really...
Well, Dune the original came out quite a while ago. Like 3 or 4 years. But
was it 3 or 4 years?
I think so. I think it came out in 2021.
Yeah.
So anyway, but jumping back to...
Oh, and then the Blue People movie,
The Blue People movie. Avatar,
Why did they
The
keep on-
Return.
Okay, I know.
Because they said they were gonna make 4 of them, and they said
I feel like
they
he's just-
said that like 20 years ago that they were gonna make 4 of them, so they have to.
But it's just about this guy who really wants some unobtainium. Why is that the source? Why is that the name?
Anyway, going back to what I was gonna say. Speaking of companies that are just making movies for cash grab, all the new Disney animated movies are just complete for cash. Like they got this new Inside Out 2 coming out, and you know it's not gonna be as good as the first one because they're just doing it for a sequel. They're not doing it for like the plot, you know?
I would say actually that was a few years ago. They've only made one new original. Actually, wait. What was the last Pixar movie that came out before this one? I don't think there was.
What do you mean?
It goes Inside Out 2, and the next one I remember is like the Soul movie, which I really liked. Soul was really good.
It was a good movie
because it was an original movie.
I mean it's no Finding Nemo,
but
it's an alright
oh
movie.
my gosh, it's a plot. It's a new guy.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. That just it's not a plot that sells well. You know, there's no
known characters.
There's not toys, there's not marketing, it's not big. Like
what most Pixar movies now I'm thinking about are like, what if these things can talk?
Yeah. But no, seriously. So like they're going to have an Inside Out 2 coming out, and it's going to be the same old same old.
Oh no, Riley got
Now she's depressed. Oh wow.
Oh no, Riley's a teenager.
Wow, this is crazy. No, but seriously. Like so that's coming out. They've got the new Garfield movie coming out. We'll see if that's going to be anything good.
DreamWorks has been putting out some good stuff.
So
except for Kung Fu Panda 4.
Yeah, Kung Fu Panda 4 was
felt like a
good.
TV show.
Yeah, if that was a season finale for the TV show, okay, that would be pretty good. But it's not. It's
just a movie.
The actual plot of a movie that they spent money on.
And you're like, what's going on? The only thing I liked was when I was listening to the only thing I liked from the movie was like the musical score. I was like, oh.
Yeah, the music was pretty good.
Like what was the one song they turned into like China, not like Asian music? What because I started realizing when I was listening to it, I was like,
it was whatever the song they used for that throughout the whole movie was, because they do that with each movie. They pick a song to do.
So Hit Me Baby One More Time.
Yeah, Hit Me Baby One More Time is the one they did in the.
It was like it's like an instrumental. Hit Me Baby One More Time.
Yeah, and it's funny because the first time they play it, like it's not like they're not singing it or anything, and it's just like, oh wow, this is a very unique way to use the song.
No, because like for the first few minutes you're like, oh, this is a cool song, and then you go, wait.
No, so the instrumentation and the music is good in the movie. It's just like the plot is just it's not there.
Like
it's super predictable. Is the problem.
I think the problem is that I think the problem is like the end. Okay, I'm just gonna spoil it because there's no reason anyone's gonna want to watch this movie. Is at the end. The 3 main bad guys from the last movie bow down to Po, and then I see the one guy who killed all the pandas bowing down to Po, and I go, why is this man? I was thinking about plot-wise, this guy, the last time this guy saw him was that Po basically killed him with one.
Yeah. All of the characters, like, all of the bad guys that are supposed to be bad were not bad because, like, oh, Po saved them or whatever, but, like, that doesn't help. Like, they should still be mad at him. And then, literally, the plot was so predictable. It was, oh my goodness, the guy who's friends with Po is actually going to be working for the bad lady. And then it's like,
she feels
oh
bad
my goodness, she feels bad about working for the bad lady. So then they team up and they kill the bad lady.
And for some reason, like, there's I'm just going to say it, there's like a few actors now that like only do like animated movies. And like, I don't know. It's just like none of the animated movies nowadays are like, they have the exact same actors in them.
Yeah.
That one, she's becoming really big, but like she's only in supporting roles. What's her name? She's in like a ton of movies now, but she's already plays like the Fox lady. She's in like a ton of stuff right now, and like, it's just like, the movie is you're just sitting there like this is what they decided to do. Like you're like I think it'd be super cool if like you bring back all the bad guys and then they fight Po, but like you didn't do that.
Yeah.
You just had them like an amalgamation monster, and I'm like you could have just had all the bad guys like somehow get out of like the spiritual realm.
Yeah. You could have had to be way more Po relying on like actual outside help than
Also,
Because like it would be
You know, like they couldn't get half the actors. So they're like, oh, the Furious 5, they are on a mission.
Yep. Yeah, like literally, that's definitely what it was. So.
And then like even like the main bad guys didn't even get back. Like they could get J.K. Simmons. Like I know he's like a high paid actor, but also he's not that. I've seen. The thing is, I don't know where J.K. Simmons sits on there because he's it seems like sometimes he's a high paid actor, but sometimes he's not.
Yeah.
Like I've seen him in like TV shows, and I'm like how. And then I'll see him in like a high like budget movie. I'm like, where's his?
They like him because he's good.
Like he's a good actor. It's just like I don't know where his pay grade
is. It's just so many of these movies now are just cash grabs. So we'll have to see what these new movies are like when they come out. But
I will definitely say it's probably just a bad phase because like we always had those. Like I think the '90s were a bad phase. Not maybe was it the '90s? No, it was like the '80s.
No, '80s movies are good.
Well,
there's like certain periods. It's like 2 or 3 year gaps every few years where the movies just take a turn for the worse. Yeah. But I think they'll jump back.
And then somehow SNL gets good during those times. What is that? Okay, it's like
that's definitely not true now though. Yeah. SNL's still pretty bad.
Yeah. But I had something to say. I can think of it because I said SNL.
I don't know. Movies coming out.
It had something to do with SNL too.
Oh, also, like, too many movies are super heavy use on CGI right now too, and it's like that doesn't help your budget, and that doesn't make it better. Like,
yeah, and like so many reboots.
Yeah.
I think the only reboot I was slightly excited for was because The Office one was like, yeah, because we're not gonna use any of the other characters. Like that's kind of a cool, funny thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's gonna be just another I think that's like the only way you could do it, where it's like, it's a reboot, but it's like, yeah, the characters might show up for like a little cameo, but it's not gonna be like it's an entire new show.
Yeah, that's what I think a lot of movies need to start doing, and not just slapping a name that used to mean something good in the title and calling it a day.
What was the new Captain America New Order?
Yeah, new Captain America New World Order. I think it's Brave New World, but yeah, no, seriously, like I haven't seen it. I don't know when it comes out.
No, I didn't even know.
I know McDonald's is advertising the toys.
Why is it like? But like the thing is,
so
like,
whenever it comes out, it'll probably be okay.
Do you see marketing? Do you see marketing for like Marvel movies anymore? Like I haven't seen any.
I literally the only marketing I've seen is in the McDonald's promotion. So, because and that's what's been for like the last few Marvel movies. Like I haven't heard anything about it except you see it in the McDonald's, like
or you see it on Disney Plus. You're like, when did that happen?
Yeah, exactly. Like it'll have already come out and they'll just put it on Disney Plus, because sometimes they just go straight to streaming. Yeah. So
I think that
also
remember the hype that was for Disney Plus though, like beginning. Like,
also, what is crazy is in the last 2 years they have increased the price of Disney Plus twice. So the annual subscription used to be $80 as of 2 years ago. Then last summer they increased it to $100 a year, and then this year they're increasing it to $140 a year. So they're basically doubling the price. Maybe it's $130, but it's basically they're almost doubling the price in 2 years, and it's like, dude, you're just trying to make money. You're hoping that less than half of all the people cancel their orders, because that's how you have to make the money. You know what I'm saying? Like they as if only a third of the customers canceled their subscriptions, then they're still going to be making more money than they were initially.
Yeah. And you know, Disney Plus was peak when WandaVision and thinking Mandalorian came out, because like after that it was like Marvel shows really went out the gutter.
Yeah.
And then like Disney Plus shows kind of stayed good. I mean, Star Wars shows kind of stayed good, and you had just
here's the way that to do Disney Plus now is just don't pay for Disney Plus. Wait till a whole show comes out and isn't like on their weekly schedule release or whatever. Wait till a whole show comes out. Find out if it's good. Decide if you want to watch it, and then go find a friend who has it and watch it with your friend. Because like, that's gonna be your best way to do it. Or just
use family plans. It's really and like they're starting to crack down on those, which I don't get.
Yeah.
Why are family plans? Like I get like family plans are like the best thing. I think what they should start doing is not call them family plans anymore. See, like half people who use family plans.
I appreciate the way Spotify does it. They'll probably eventually change it. But Spotify, you literally just have to put in the same address. Like, you just put in the address where the person who owns the plan lives, and then you're good. Like, you don't have to be at the address. Just, like, when you sign up for the plan, if you put in that address, then you get on the plane. It's not complicated. It's really simple, and it's definitely the best way to do it. Because like, you know, it's you're gonna make more money than you would on the base plan, and it like when most people who have friends they cancel their family plan, it's not that they're all gonna go get individual plans. It's one person is gonna keep their plan, whoever had the family plan, and then everybody else is just gonna, you know, either pirate it or just not watch it. So,
and I think our conclusion with this is that movies are just becoming what the game industry is, just with movies. Like it's the same thing. It's that indie studios are becoming the main good shows, and then like everything else is like kind of it's kind of like meh.
Yeah.
Like maybe they'll come out like people like everybody's like, oh, this is really good, or like a big studio comes out with like a big game and then it's like really buggy, and like they can just say like, yeah.
And then to finally conclude, the movie I was thinking of is called Marshall, after Thurgood Marshall. To clarify, the movie I was talking about earlier.
The documentary.
Yeah, well, it's not a documentary, but it's one of those biopics.
But,
yeah, which are a wonderful style of movie. All right, so to wrap this up, I'd like to say thank you to our Patreon supporters, Sam Shockmaev, JJ Sebastian, and Josiah Keller. And I'd also like to say thank you to friend of the podcast, Joel Webb. And if you want to support the show, go ahead and head on over to patreon.com/The Conspiracy Consultants. And you can check us out over there. Maybe we'll eventually post some more stuff over there. There's some sneak previews and stuff from a while ago. But yeah, if you want to support the show, support the show. And if you don't want to, just click subscribe on YouTube. And it doesn't cost you any money, but it at least helps boost us a little bit. So thank you, and see ya.